A group of voters from the battleground state of Pennsylvania is telling us volumes about the first presidential debate. CBS News contributor and Republican strategist Frank Luntz invited 27 undecided registered voters to take part in a focus group. 6 of them said that they were leaning toward Hillary Clinton. 5 others were leaning towards Donald Trump. 8 of them had no preference before the debate. And the final 8 refused to support either candidate. They all watched the debate and then they talked about it.
Tell the American people which of the 2 candidates impacted your vote more. Raise your hands if it was Donald Trump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Raise your hands if it was Hillary Clinton. 16-6. I want a word or phrase to describe Donald Trump's performance tonight.
Strong start, weak finish.
Missed opportunities.
Bombastic.
Not presidential.
Sloppy.
I want a word or phrase to describe Hillary Clinton's performance.
Prepared.
Firm.
Powerful.
Same old, same old.
When she responded about her emails, you weren't happy about that, but you were mad at him over his tax returns. Why?
She at least went ahead and said that she takes responsibility for doing something wrong, whereas he just continued to deny any wrongdoing.
I want to focus on her performance now.
She's self-absorbed as he is, but she's got so much facts in command that covers it up.
Where did she do so well, or why didn't Trump do so well? Somebody. Yes.
Recently, he's been very good with his speeches and his appearances where he has stayed on message, no personal attacks, just sold himself and his plan instead of attacking.
And tonight
he went back to attack.
Go ahead.
Trump impacted my vote in favor of Hillary because he was completely offensive. He lost me on the racial unity, and that's where I draw the line.
You made inner cities seem like you're literally going to die as soon as you step outside, and that's just not true.
Donald Trump is standing where I am right now. What do you tell him?
I tell him to answer the question that is asked of him and then stop talking.
Do you guys agree with that?
Yes.
Frank Luntz is here, joins us at the table to discuss. Going into this debate, everybody, the 2 candidates were neck and neck. What mattered most to those voters? What were they looking for?
They wanted to see in Donald Trump that he was presidential. And what that meant was they wanted to feel like he had a grasp of the issues and specific ideas. They weren't expecting the details that Hillary Clinton has, but they wanted to see more from him. And for her, they wanted to see candor. They wanted to see someone who they felt they could trust. They got some of that with Clinton. They did not get what they were looking for with Trump. And in fact, it's one of the reasons why they felt that it wasn't that Hillary Clinton won the debate. They felt that Trump lost the debate. It bothered them that he kept interrupting Lester Holt, that ignored him. It bothered them that he kept taking shots at Hillary Clinton. The difference is she took shots at him. They were well prepared, well orchestrated. I think she had one of the best debate preps that I have seen in the last 25 years, because virtually every comment she made about him, voters didn't mind it, and it clearly got under his skin.
Did he seem prepared to you? Did they think he was prepared?
Yeah, for the first 20 or 30 minutes. The Donald Trump of the first 30 minutes was very different than the Donald Trump of the last 30, and that's all about preparation. It's as though he had these conversations, but it just kept getting worse and worse, and by the last 30 minutes, with birther, also with his tax returns, they were mad at him.
On that very issue of tax returns, it was interesting to see your dial test during the debate. Red lines show Trump leaning voters, green lines show Clinton leaning voters, yellow is undecided. The higher the number, the more favorable the candidate's answers. So let's take a look at the reaction when Trump talked about releasing his tax returns.
I will release my tax returns against my lawyer's wishes when she releases her 33,000 emails that have been deleted. As soon as she releases them, I will release my tax returns, and that's against my lawyers. They say don't do it. I will
explain what we're seeing there, Frank.
So that was a tremendous response. See, in the end, by 2-to-1, voters are more concerned about what's in her emails because they believe that's national security, rather than what's in his tax returns because that's personal. And frankly, they don't believe he's as wealthy as he says he is. They don't think he pays the taxes that he claims he does.
They think they want to see his tax returns. Voters
they want to see his tax returns, but he turned it around. Now, here's what I don't understand.
So they were more applauding for her emails than his tax returns? I was confused about that.
Exactly, that's the point. That when he turned it to her emails, he's winning. But what does he then do? Moments later, goes back to his tax returns. What he did not understand is that he was fighting for himself and for his reputation rather than fighting for the people who he says he
Can
represents.
we take a look at what he did when he talked about the birther issue in terms of the needle? Here it is.
The birth certificate was produced in 2011. You continued to tell the story and question the president's legitimacy in 2012, 13, 14, 15, as recently as January. So the question is, what changed your mind?
Well, nobody was pressing it. Nobody was caring much about it. I figured you'd ask the question tonight, of course, but nobody was caring much about it. But I was the one that got him to produce the birth certificate, and I think I did a good job.
No, he did not do a good job.
Took a big
That was one
dive.
of the lowest moments of the entire debate. Every time he's talking about the issue, he's losing because it looks like he's challenging Barack Obama's character, and he's on the defense. And if that's what he talks about between now and Election Day, he cannot succeed.
And of the 27 undecided voters, how many were for Clinton and Trump at the end?
By the time it ended, 16 people thought that Clinton moved them. Only 6 thought that Trump moved them. The rest were not moved at all.
Frank Luntz, thank you so much.